Well, first thing I've got to say is I hope you all had a fantastic Christmas. I'm sure you're all gearing up for a fantastic new year. And as you all saw from my video of me and my mum, I had a very nice Christmas, even though it got me into a fraction of trouble for videoing her. But being the kind of woman she is, she understands that that's something that we in the United Kingdom, especially the English and British, are known for, is our ability to laugh in the face of adversity. And I've tried to make this point to people before, and people don't always seem to get what you're trying to say. So sometimes it's easier to say things as opposed to type them. Typed word is very good. Unfortunately, it's very easy to type something out and for somebody to misconstrue what you're trying to say. Now, the reason I'm standing for Police and Crime Commissioner for Bedfordshire with the English Democrats is for two reasons. One, I'm English. I live in the United Kingdom, but I am English. Now, I don't have a problem with Ireland, Scotland and Wales having their own parliament within the House of Lords. Don't have a problem with that at all. But I think if we're going to do that, then let's make it equal. See, I believe in equality for everybody. Now, I'm sorry, but when you're giving, say for example, to Scotland, Ireland and Wales, you give £1 per child per head for their school meals. But in England, you get 43p. What makes one child's need to be nourished greater than another's? And in the United Kingdom, why are we even having that? Why is that even happening? So, for me, the way to make this work is give us an English Parliament. Okay, give us an English Parliament where we get to make the decisions on what the English children get. We won't interfere on Scotland, Ireland and Wales when it comes to your political parties and your parliament, but you have a say on ours. So I don't like this inequality. I like fairness. I like things to be fair to people. So that's why I chose to go with the English Democrats. Now, the other thing is that I've had, over the last few days, I've had some real doozies come into my inbox, including a man who asked me. It was quite funny because he came in and he went, "You're a working class hero." I went, "No, I'm just working class. I'm not a hero, but thank you very much." To which he then said, "How do you feel about Adolf Hitler?" And I went, "Well, I think he was a syphilitic madman. That's what I think." No, he said, "He was a hero." No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. He wanted an Aryan race. And as I pointed out to him, "Mate, you're brown-haired, brown-eyed. I mean, I'd be fine. You'd be screwed." So anybody who's got this opinion of Hitler being some kind of superhero, do feel free to remove yourself from my Facebook, because I have no interest in any of that. I have no interest in going down the route of hating Jews. I don't have a problem with Jews. I've never seen a Jew in my country try and force kosher meat onto me. I have never seen a Jew in my country try and force their beliefs on me. I have never seen a Jew in my country behead a human being, such as Lee Rigby. And I do not see mass grooming gangs targeting predominantly white girls and the men who happen to be Jewish. So I'm not going down the Jew bashing route. With regards to my opinion on Israel and Palestine, the truth of it is I don't live in Israel and I don't live in Palestine. I live here in England, my home. I believe that charity must and should begin at home first. We have elderly suffering. We have homeless living out on the streets and dying in cars. Little babies, newborn babies dying in cars because nobody would help them. Yet we have a mass influx of immigration, where the immigrants that are coming into the country are being put at the top of the list. There has to come a point when we say we have to put our own first. Now, that isn't because you stop caring about people in different countries. I've explained to people before, there's a chap that I talked to, he's an apostate, he's hiding in the back of a factory in Pakistan, and I'm doing everything I possibly can, believe you me, that people have no idea how much I'm doing. And if I can get the man help, I will do it. I will do the best that I can do. But does that mean that I should put his need should be put as being greater than the need of a girl being regularly trafficked out? I don't think so. Why? Because this is my home. This is my country. And I love the United Kingdom. I believe if we all have our own parliament where one doesn't have more power over another, we have equality, and the United Kingdom itself will become stronger because of it. Now, that's my personal opinion. The reason I'm standing for the position of Police and Crime Commissioner is very, very simple. Really is very simple. Do we want political correctness policing, or do we want policing doing their job within the full force of the law? Do we think that we should pander and appease to any minority? No. Should we pander and appease to the indigenous? No. Not when it comes to the police force. They are there to do a job. I would give them that opportunity to say there will be no political correctness policing. If somebody is offended, well, offence is taken. It is never given. And you can be as offended as you like, but if we are not causing you any physical harm or causing you to become suicidal because we're doing our job, and let's face it, you can try that line, but it won't work. So this is why we need to have no more political correctness policing. If there is a faith, for example, that says to come into our home and search our homes for drugs, even though you believe us to be involved in drugs, you must put boots on your dogs. No, I don't think we will actually. Do you know why? Because if you're a drug dealer, I don't care if I offend your faith. I care about stopping drugs getting onto the streets. If you are a violent, aggressive thug, and you say, oh, no, you can't come into my house without taking your shoes off. No, I think you find I can. Because I am the law. You see, can you see how that's working? See, you have to make the law fair to everybody. If the police came into my home suspecting me of extremism, I wouldn't get any of these special privileges, so there should be no special privileges made for anybody else. If you believe a church is involved in hiding extremists and the police go in and search it and they don't have to put on any special clothing and you don't get none of this where you can't come in because it's prayer time, well, I can come in because that's the police force and that's their job. So that's why I think we need to get rid of political correctness policing. And we need to have fair policing across the board for everybody. There should be no exceptions for anybody. Because I do believe in fairness and equality. Now, onto something that I found quite entertaining. I'm kind of hoping you will too, because it points out a double standard. She says that she has a usual cup of tea. Now, the first thing was this. Right. Diane Abbott, Labour front bench MP and first black woman to take a seat in the House of Commons, is well known for her outspoken remarks. I think you'll find they're racist remarks, but there you go. The comment that white people love playing divide and rule is not the first apparent gaffe she has made. No, you're damn right it's not. So let's go through some of her other gaffes, shall we? During the 2010 Labour leadership race, Miss Abbott raised eyebrows by stating West Indian mums will go to the wall for their children. She made the remark to explain her decision to send her son James to a fee-paying school after having previously criticised the private sector. BBC interview Andrew Neil responded, so black mums love their kids more than white mums, do they? He went on to ask, supposing Michael Portillo, also on the programme, said white mums go to the wall for their children. Why did you say that? Isn't that a racist remark? Let's get one thing straight. Oh, it was a racist remark. She knew it was a racist remark. She knew exactly what she was saying. The Hackney North and Stoke Newington MP's decision to educate a child privately caused a storm of criticism in 2003 because Miss Abbott attacked her Labour colleague, Harriet Harman, for sending her son to a grammar school. She, Harman, made the Labour Party look as if we do one thing and say another, Miss Abbott said in 1997. Really, Miss Abbott? A bit like you just did then. Miss Abbott reportedly also said staff at her local East London hospital, who were blonde, blue-eyed Finnish girls, were not suitable to be nurses because they have never met a black person before. So we're going to sit back and say, Miss Abbott, you can be as racist as you jolly well please. My darling, throw the racism in there as much as you like, because I happen to have white skin, so that makes me thick-skinned and therefore it doesn't offend me. Well, you do offend me, Miss Abbott. You offend me greatly. It offends me that you still hold any position in Parliament at all, considering you really are a racist towards anybody who doesn't share the same coloured skin as you. Whereas myself, you see, I would measure a person by their ability to do the job, and what we're seeing right now is our NHS being flooded, yes, with doctors and surgeons, nurses, many of whom can barely speak a word of English, and that is bloody dangerous. That will lead to deaths. I say that's common sense. So let's give the job to the people who actually have the ability to do the job. On to my next little topic. This is 9 pieces of bad news the Tories tried to bury on the last working day before Christmas. Today was the day the Tories took out the trash. So, number 1, the bedroom tax is hurting people. Ian Duncan Smith's own department admits the bedroom tax leaves people poor, hungry and forced into debt. Really? You needed someone to work that out for you, did you, Ian? Because I could have told you that from the get-go. But nonetheless, you are a politician out of a private educating system, so what do we expect? This says the damning report slipped out to by the Department of Work and Pensions reveals 78% of those clobbered by the cruel tax are left penniless by the end of each month. The victims said they made up the shortfall in their rent by borrowing money, using up savings or cutting back on heating, food and travel. But that's all right, isn't it? That's fine. Doesn't matter if we have elderly starving, and it doesn't matter if they freeze to death, because I suppose that would deplete the surplus population to make room for the immigrations that are coming in. I can see your policy, Scrooge. Then you see, 2, they're cutting the police funding. So we're going to bring in mass immigration. And an article that I shared yesterday, keep it on the same note. An article that I shared yesterday said that they are going to be teaching these immigrants how not to rape. I'm interested in this class. I'm genuinely interested, because, and I'll tell you why. In order to teach someone how to not rape, surely somebody must have taught them how to rape. Wouldn't you say? That's a fair assessment. So I wouldn't mind going along to these. I'd like to see what it is that these men have been taught that justifies them raping. So, number 3, and they're cutting solar power. Oh, that would be the thing you were trying to get people to have into their private homes, wasn't it? You are slashing funding for small household solar panels by 64%. 4, revenge on the House of Lords. The Tories are set to strip one of the House of Lords' key powers in an act of revenge after peers crushed George Osborne's plan to cut tax credits. You know why you want rid of the peers, don't you? You want rid of the peers because right now the peers are the only people speaking out for us. That's why you want rid of them, Cameron. We know this. We're not stupid. 5, spiralling bill for spin doctors. That's right, spin doctors. They're the ones that make up all the bullshit to get everybody else's eye off the ball. And David Cameron has splashed out more than £10 million of taxpayers' money last year on his army of spin doctors and advisors. Despite promising to cut the cost of politics, the Tories now have 97 special advisors costing the taxpayer 11.1 million last year, while 3 million public sector workers have been hit with a pay freeze. Sounds about right, doesn't it? 6. Muslim Brotherhood report. That's right, you tried to, after a long delayed review of the political group, slipped out by the Prime Minister today with no debate just hours before MPs leave Westminster for Christmas. Now, counter-terror experts are launching a fresh crackdown on British Muslim Brotherhood members after David Cameron warned the group is a rite of passage for some jihadists. It's more than a rite of passage. I came across the Muslim Brotherhood when I was out in Egypt. Trust me now. It's a lot more than that. It's a terrorist organisation. 7. It was also a bad day for badgers. Nearly 1,500 badgers were killed as part of this year's culling programme. 8. Local government cuts. The Community Secretary Greg Clark announced the spending review meant that overall funding for councils will fall by 2.8%. Under the funding settlement for 2016-17 council spending power. Bet you gave yourself a nice big fat bonus, so hey Dave. David Cameron's gifts and travels. High life flying David Cameron around the world costs you £700,000. Figures released by the government also showed the Prime Minister spent £13,182 on jetting around the world between April and October this year, including visits to the Caribbean, the States, Indonesia, Vietnam, Germany and Portugal. The Cabinet Office also released the gifts received by Prime Minister since April this year. These include a glass art platter from First Lady Michelle Obama. Well, we say lady. The jury's still out on that one. 2 rugs from the Prime Minister of Pakistan and a watch from the German Chancellor Angela Merkel. So she can keep a time on everything you do, eh, David? And they revealed the politicians wined and dined at the Prime Minister's country retreat of the Chequers. Before entering number 10, Mr Cameron claimed there was too much money spent on pay for staff and going on foreign trips. Oops, a daisy, eh, Davy? Britain's embattled steel industry will get government help with its energy costs in a major victory for the Mirror's Save Our Steel campaign. So, just going on those alone, sorry, let me just scroll back up there. So, we have a greedy, really greedy Prime Minister. Really greedy. He's going to cut the cost on this, he's going to cut the cost on that. No, what you mean is you're going to cut the cost for every working class man and woman. Everyone except yourself, eh, Dave? So, do I think that needs to be... People are walking around blindfolded. They're blindfolded to the truth. But what you can't control, but you'd love to control, Dave, is the media. See, the general public are getting wise to you. We're getting wiser by the day, every day. And we're reading things and we're seeing things. I watched a video, and this is I'm going to end on this, even though it's not necessarily a high note. I watched a video yesterday, and it was a group of Muslim lads all stood. Sorry, my hair's annoying me. All stood and talking about how they raped a virgin, a little girl, virgin, and how they made her have it hard. Well, you must be real big men to rape a child. How very noble of you is that. All standing there and laughing, finding this funny. I don't find it funny. I find it disgusting. You repulse me. So, there are good Muslims out there. But until we see good Muslims stand up and come and join people like myself and speak out against the extreme behaviour of these Muslims, then I'm afraid that you will always be tarnished with the same brush. And you cannot blame people like me and people who stand up and speak out. People like Caroline Cox addressing Sharia law because of the amount of victims of Sharia law we have in this country. You cannot blame her or me for the actions of Muslims raping, trafficking, grooming, not just white little girls, but even in their own communities, in these camps in Calais, they were raping their own. That is not our fault. Do not hold us accountable for that. But by Christ, I will hold you accountable for it. But of course, you're going to get lessons in how not to rape. So I'm more curious is, who taught you to rape? Tell me that. I'd love to know. So, I'm sorry I had to get a little bit deep on that one because that's an issue I find wholly abhorrent. For anybody who wants to find Maria's, you can find us on Facebook. For anybody who wants to find me on Twitter, I am on Twitter at DICS. That is just my @name. Or just type in the Matriot. You'll find me. For anybody on Twitter who wants to find me, you can find me under the name of Tony Bugle. And anybody who wants to come into my inbox and tell me how Nazi Hitler was a hero, do yourself a favour. Grow up, because you're a zero. And I have absolutely no interest in Hitler lovers. I have no interest in the KKK. I have no interest in white supremacy. I also have no interest in those who want to cry racism every time their feelings are a little bit hurt. Get over it. Words don't kill. Guns and knives kill. So, if all that bothers you is a few words, well, I guess my words can be added to the list of many. So, I'm sure Hope Not Hate will get this video. Don't have a little write-up on me, but could you do me a favour? Hope Not Hate, when you get it, when you do these articles, could you please just photograph me? Because this is my good side. You know, stop getting me from my bad side. Get a picture of me from my good side. Because the truth is, Hope Not Hate, nobody believes a word you say. Because you lie. And I know you lie. You know I know you lie. I still have it on the dictaphone that proves you lie. So everybody have a fantastic new year. Take care. Much love. Speak to you all real again soon. Bye.